Angela Benton, who is the co-founder and CEO of NewMe, is our first 180. Is she ready to come out? Okay, Angela, please come out.
Excited to be here. So today I want to talk to you guys about NewMe Accelerator. It's an accelerator I started in 2011 that focuses on women and minorities. And my big 180 shift really came when we started to think about how can we impact more women and minorities around the country to get them more involved in entrepreneurship. So the industry at large kind of thinks of accelerators as this 12-week kind of program that folks participate in and get accelerated and get funding for their business or idea. And that idea is not really relatable to a lot of people who have business ideas. And one of the first things that we actually noticed was we were actually kind of doing a roadshow around the country. We stopped in Atlanta, and a very basic concept, this idea of what an accelerator is, didn't really resonate. Most people actually don't know what an accelerator is. And that might be interesting to a lot of folks in this room, but we actually had to change the way we talked about what an accelerator was and what it is we were trying to do in order to help a lot of the minorities that we were dealing with. And we ended up going back to the basics and really just referring to it as an idea. Once we did that, they totally got it, and then they were totally on board, and it was much easier to help them and essentially accelerate them. The second thing that I noticed was not everybody really wanted to actually come to Silicon Valley, which was interesting. I picked up and moved and brought my whole family to Silicon Valley to kind of work on this project and this idea, and not everybody actually wanted to do that, and not everybody could do that. Most of the entrepreneurs we work with, they have families, they have 9-to-5s, and they have other obligations that actually don't allow them to just pick up and go. And we kind of took this idea and actually ended up building a platform around this idea. And essentially, it looked, at least initially, like any online learning platform, but we made one small change recently, and we mirrored it more like Periscope. So minorities are one of the biggest users of social media, so we mirrored it off of Periscope, and we immediately increased the level of participation to over 300% in 2 months. And that was something that was really, really interesting to me, because typically when we think about education and online education, we do think of these standard traditional tools that might not necessarily apply to everyone. The third thing that we noticed was not everybody was actually seeking funding at all. So many folks, especially minorities, they're very, very early on at the idea stage. So we have one founder, actually, he actually ended up raising about $5 million, but what was most interesting about him is when he finally came to NewMe, he had no idea who Jack Dorsey was. He had no idea, he knew what Twitter was, but he had no idea some of the kind of luminaries that we look to in the technology industry. And for him, it wasn't as much as wanting to raise money as to get the very, very early stage capital, less than $50,000, in order for him to grow and to actually want to raise more money. So I'm hoping these three concepts will help inspire you guys in how you're thinking about entrepreneurship, educating minority entrepreneurs, because it really affected the way we run our whole business and how we accelerate entrepreneurs. Thanks.
Thank you.